Hello, everyone. Happy New Year. I'm so excited. I'm so excited for this new year 2026. I thank God I'm alive. I thank God I'm here. I mean, we lost quite a number of people last year. That's really sad, but thank God we are here, and I pray that we all make the best of it. Welcome to our podcast from X and Z with Love, your residence mother, daughter duo, bringing you the best of both worlds. We try to bridge the gap between Generation X and Generation Z. So, thank you for joining us. Welcome once again.
Hello.
Gen Z,
Hello.
how are you? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
So, how was your holiday?
December busy. How was December?
Yeah.
I was surprisingly so inside. This December was so different from every other December I've experienced. I didn't go for a single concert. I didn't go for a single show. I wasn't outside. I didn't do
You're growing up. You're growing up.
Isn't it myself age? I was busy and I needed to rest. So my NGO, we had a series of outreaches. We had an outline for 4 outreaches. By the second outreach, to be fair, by the first one, I was down. I was down and out. And then we still have to do the next and the next. And then, yeah. So I spent most of December planning outreaches, executing and resting. Because after an outreach, I just want to sleep and rest. I did spend some time with friends here and there. But that was about it. But more intimate gatherings, like 4 or 5 people. Even my friend's New Year party that I usually go for, I'm usually New Year, I'm in everybody's house, like, I was in my house. I'm like, come and see me though. You can pull up. So it was very restful, very peaceful.
All right. I think I spent time with family.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I had a nice time. I usually would do karaoke in my house in December, but this year I said, you know what?
Let's have a staycation.
Let me just go out and chill somewhere on the island too. And it was fun, family, just very calm, just resting also, just spending time with family. Once my kids are having fun, then I am having fun. I think it's a parent thing. Once your kids are having, well, don't worry, you become
That's so sad. Because what do you mean? Funny how recently I had a dream about that like if I take or when I take my kids to like Disneyland or something like that, I don't think I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, have fun and let me just watch you. And like I thought about it recently that who's going to hold the kid while I'm on my ride? Right. So that's why like a 2-parent household is important for me so that the father can be holding the child, because I will go on the rides too. And I'm not going to go on the ride with a child in my hand either. I need to experience it on my own and enjoy it. So this concept of I think when the kids are having fun, I'm having fun. That's very foreign to me.
If you've been a mother for a while, I think you get to that space.
I think it's your brand of motherhood.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Your brand of motherhood.
Once the kids are having fun, there is a level of satisfaction you get.
Yeah,
from that.
That's guaranteed.
And so, but that's fun for me. Yes.
So sorry.
Okay, so of course I went to watch a movie.
Yeah.
You
did your own
again.
behind the scenes.
Yeah, from Kakindele. Shout out to her. That was beautiful. It was really nice. I had a lovely experience. Of course, not the usual one that you're expecting. You already know how it will end and all of that. So it was good. I liked that. I had my own fun in my own way. So yeah. Okay. So what's the topic of today?
You tell me.
We want to look at workplace attitudes. So drum roll. Boom. Yes, workplace attitude. How do Gen X and Z function in the workplace? And so how do we get the best of both worlds eventually as we wrap up with that? But how do they function in the workplace? So let me start with my own perspective.
Yeah, you've been in the workplace longer.
I think that my generation focused on stability. That's why you see somebody in my generation work in an establishment, 18 years, they're still there, 20 years, they're there. You understand? Once they have stability, they will stay there. Of course, there'll be some funny
outliers.
But my generation, they are loyal people. They are loyal to work. Once it pays their bills, once it gives them. So what will make somebody in my generation want to hop is that where they are at, they're not earning what they want to earn, or it's not giving them, the culture is not right for them, or something like that. But once they have that, the pay is fair, the culture is okay, they rather just sit than...
Wait, do you think it's stability, or you guys are like scaredy cats, like overly cautious? Like, oh, the devil you know is better than the angel you don't know type
really,
thing.
because
Like, let me not jump from fry pan to fire.
Yes, very, very true. Very true, because we have responsibilities. We have parents to take care of. We have children to take care of. We have bills to pay.
These are the issues.
So let me give you an example. There was one time that we recruited a man, some guy, as a manager for one Asian company. And then they proposed to give him all kinds of benefits and all of that. The pay was much higher than where he was before. And so he moved. Lo and behold, as they would say, after about 3 months, thereabouts, he just came to our office and was complaining that all the benefits they said they were going to give to him, they didn't give to him, blah, 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 blah. To cut the long story short, I think there was a fallout. He left the job. He couldn't go back to his former office, which was okay, not fantastic, but okay, stable. And so this guy would just come to our office in the morning, resume in his shirt and tie, and come and sit down at our reception. That you people should, of course, a recruitment firm, people should get me another job. After a while, he removed the tie. It was just shirts. After a while, he started coming in slippers. He became a nuisance. So those are the kind of scenarios that make people think. Another one, my friend was HR manager in a very nice organization, very standard organization. They've been around for a while. She's been there for like 15 years. So in this mindset of, let me explore new things, which is fine, which is fair, she moves to another organization where they offered her, better package and all of that. Guess what? After a month, she didn't even stay there for I don't think she spent 3 months there or 4 months. It was chaos. They didn't give what they promised. It was just chaos. So she had to retire because, of course, at that age, I haven't stayed in that organization for a long time and experienced that. She was so disillusioned that she just went to do some other business, started the business. She just left the corporate scene. So when you look at those kind of scenarios, you begin to imagine that sometimes that stability, bearing in mind that you have bills to pay, you have children to take care of, you have things to do, makes you kind of want to stay stable.
I thought about this recently because I was looking at how, in economics, they say, when they say free markets, when they say balanced market, there's free flow of information. And I was looking at how a major thing that influences people's decisions to take up certain employment, move to certain places, is the availability of data and information, essentially. And the information is so coded, is so if you know basis, and you kind of just have to take what the employer tells you. And that in itself is, the employers like it, but that's a very precarious position for employees, which is why you have platforms like Glassdoor, where you can kind of go there and ask questions about an organization, and people that have worked there or work there leave their comments, right, about what the organization is like. But it's not moderated enough for you to know whether they're lying or not. Like, what's the pay at this level in this organization? What's the culture like? But now I would say there's still more information out there now than there was in your generation. So that influences the moves as well, where you know someone that knows someone, right?
I think for my generation, a very important factor back in the days is the fact that responsibilities.
No, but
so even if they have information about the organization and they need that job at that time to take care of bills, they would do that.
Yeah, no, so my thing is, if they had the information about the other organization, because like I said, it's fear of fry pan to fire.
Where am I going to, like the two examples I gave you? Yes.
So if you had solid information about the next phase, that the culture here is
true
good,
that,
these are the downsides, but these are the benefits. And also, they promised you a 401k, they promised you pension, all these things. They actually do
that
give those
for the
things. If
people
you
that
have
are-
that
yeah.
confirmation
True
and
that,
validation,
true that.
then you're more inclined to make a move.
Yeah.
But now, because there's, again, social media, 6 degrees of separation, you know someone that knows someone that's there. So you can get that information and at least confirm to say, oh, okay, is this place really like this? What's the vibe in this place? And they'll tell you, can't see with this and this and that. And then you can make your decision from there. I wouldn't say that's the only thing that influences the impulsiveness of Gen Zs in moving around, but it is a major factor, having that information.
I think that experience with Gen Z in the workplace, I think this, in quotes, mental health.
Okay, so before you go into mental health, I want to speak on stability for Gen Zs, right? And I think that for us, we kind of learn from experience. We've seen what
My generation.
what your generation has done. You come to find out that if you spend 10 years in an organization, the trajectory, how far you go in the organization, you would get there faster, right? You'd get to that point in 5 years if you're hopping, or let's say in 7 years if you job hop, right? Because this is a secure line here, but they have their, we spend so amount of years on each grade level. We have this that influences this. But if you're moving to another organization, right, you're most likely getting promoted. Most times you're not moving, laterally. You're moving this way, upwards. So you're moving, you're jumping. So you get to places faster. You get up the ladder faster. And so we've noticed it. We've been able to compare that. Okay, this person was here for 30 years and this is where they got to. This is the peak of their career. If you move around for 30 years from here to here, even if you're moving every 5 years, which is not the best, but even if you're moving every 5 years, right? You'd get higher, right? And so we look at that and we're like, you know what? You're better off moving than being static.
Sometimes I agree with that.
So
I also want to look at the attitude of Gen Zs to work. I think that now I think they like informal settings. Yes. I think they thrive.
What is informal?
Informal, even in their communication. I mean, they're ready to do everything, social media, online.
I told you to my subordinate once. I give her a task to do. She said, okay, my love.
You see what I'm saying?
Ma.
They like informal. You understand? They try. And my generation, we like structure. We like the email and all of that. We want it structured. Yes.
They like a good Slack.
So they, I give you an example. My friend says she tells her EA to take her maybe iPad or something to the rostrum. She was going to give a talk, and the EA is telling her, "Is that necessary? Come on." So they like it.
No, I don't get it.
I mean, that's the kind of attitude the Gen Z will give you.
Is it necessary to do what exactly?
To move, to take it there for you, or I don't know, maybe, I don't even know why that would even come to bear. Is it necessary to take it there, or do you need the iPad there? It's not your business. Move it to where I've instructed you to.
Okay, so then that's a different question where we are more inquisitive. We'd like to know the why. And I think that's another difference in the generations in the workplace, where with the older generation, jump and it's like, okay, cool. They even start jumping before they ask, oh, how high do you want me to keep jumping? Where Gen Z will ask you, oh, why do you want me to jump? Oh, what is the goal of the jumping? What are we trying to achieve with the jumping? And the thing is, with that, you get more, it's a bit more annoying, to be fair.
It is annoying. Really.
And it may seem like it's time consuming, but you get more strategic thinkers. You don't get soldiers. You get people that are thinking creatively, that are able to say, okay, if this is what we're trying to achieve, we don't need to jump actually. We can do it this way and bring, creative solutions. Innovation is bred that way. Mm-hmm. You have less innovation when you have less people that are curious and asking why. And that's the thing where most people, again, it's this thing of just keep your head down, do the work and keep it going.
That's your pay and leave this place.
Yeah, but then we're learning how disruption is such a huge thing now for transformation in industries and innovation. Disruption is key.
We know, but sometimes you see those ones that disruption did not work for them. So also I'm looking at, with my generation, management style, we're independent, we give you a task, go complete it. We don't want somebody breathing down our neck. We feel as if it's pressure. But the Gen Zs, I think they like that approach of somebody mentoring, coaching. Because most of the time, if you correct them, you can see it on their face immediately. You understand? Somebody in my generation now, maybe my superior, I'll take it, in my, if you tell me, you correct me, I'll just take it and go ahead. But a Gen Z, if you correct them, you will see it on their face. In fact, they can't hide it. It will be showing straight like this, like, what is this woman telling me? And all of that. So go ahead.
So I think those are two things. So there's our reaction to feedback, how we take feedback, what feedback is like for us. I would say that is why for us collaboration is important, in the sense that I don't want to have gone and done something for 4 days and I come back and then you didn't give me clarity. You just said, oh, do this task. And I come back after 4 days and you're like, oh no, this is not what I wanted. Excuse me. I'd rather you show me what you want clearly, right? Or if you give me free will to run creatively, then you can't come and be like, oh, no, this is not what I had in mind, right? So I don't mind check-ins consistently to be like, oh, hey, not micromanaging, but just, oh, is this in line with what you want? So that I'm not wasting my time. I value my time. If you don't, I value my time.
We all value our time, really.
When with your generation, I think there's also the need to be self-sufficient in a sense. And so that's why your boss gives you a task. It's vague, it's unclear, but you don't want to ask questions. You don't want to speak up. You don't want to seem like an inconvenience. It's this fear of taking up space. So it's like, okay, let me just do my best. And so you go and do your best for 4 days, come back and present your report and say, hey, this is not what I wanted. And you're just like, okay. And now he's going to tell you what he wanted. Why waste my time? Why waste everybody's energy? Tell me what you want clearly. My team member, I'm a Gen Z, yeah, but I still have younger team members, and they're when I say Gen Z and Gen Z is different. The work, sometimes I feel like I've done the work myself with the way I've spoken and explained, and I don't mind it, because my own is, if I tell you this thing again another time, I won't say pim. Because you've done it and you've asked me, you've taken all the questions from my throat to do this work. So I expect that now you have, the how, the why, the when, the where, the who of this whole project, that you can carry it out yourself. So if you do need guidance here and there, yes. But then you're not coming back to me like, oh, is this it? And I'm seeing something completely different because you've asked me all your questions thoroughly.
Okay, so I'll give you another scenario. We went for a program. I'm part of a committee. So the HR, she's a Gen Z in that organization, comes to the rostrum and says, she's kept us waiting. The program is starting late. And so we say we want structure, we want order. And she comes there and says, hello, her grandfathers and mother's age, all seated. You kept us waiting for a while. And then the first thing she says, hello, everybody. And we all looked at all the older people there, we all looked at ourselves like, don't they teach these people how to communicate in a formal setting? Which I said, they just like that informal arrangement where everybody can just be throwing things around anyhow.
With communication styles, I can see that there's a tendency towards informal communication because it's not explained. So you have to explain to me.
You are starting a program where you've kept us for like 30 minutes late.
Yeah, no,
almost. Yeah.
So no, here,
and then you go to the rostrum and the first thing you say is, hello everyone. Who is your mate there? There's nobody that is not your mother or father's
so
age
my thing
there.
is, what she should be coming to say, the hello everyone is not the problem, is to apologize. She didn't apologize. But I'm saying that if what we were expecting, even
it's
if
a formal gathering, for crying
so
out loud.
An apology definitely was. There's being Gen Z and being mannerless. I don't like that we synonymize it. It's very different. And I would say anyone that has proper etiquette knows you apologize. It's not even etiquette. You keep people waiting, you apologize. That's just how you behave. But my thing is, it's not just that. It's more people expecting that, oh, good afternoon, ma'am, good afternoon, sirs. All right.
Why not?
So why not? I could also argue why.
Why not?
So the thing is, there's no definitive push.
If you don't even want to say sirs and mas, ladies and gentlemen, it's a formal gathering for crying out loud.
That's my thing where it's like,
not hello everyone.
So my question is, nobody has bothered to explain, and you're still not explaining to me with the importance of formality. We just say, oh, it should be like this. Okay, what do we lose if it's not like that? There's no solid answer to the why. If you provide a solid answer to the why, it's justified in my head. Now, for me, I understand that the way I regard my clients is also the respect that they regard me with. So if I approach them with a more formal tone, I speak more formally,
All the training we send you people for, why Jesus is not giving you a reason? All the training we send you for in the organization.
Okay, so I've been in so many communication trainings, right? And they tell you, oh, you do it like this, you do it like this. Nobody has told me why. Oh, we write it like this, write it like that. Nobody has told me why.
Let your organization come and train you people. I'll tell you people why.
So the thing is, we need a solid why. That's what we say, that a lot of people don't have the answers. And the reason they don't have the answers is because they never asked the whys. Just told us this is how we do it, so we do it like that way. So if you cannot give me a valid reason why I should say good afternoon, ma, good afternoon, sir, in an organization,
so I'm going
to throw it out.
Let me just make you laugh now. I heard the story of why they cut a vegetable with hands, you know, when you're cooking or her, they say don't use the knife, use your hands too. And somebody said maybe they didn't have knife that time. Like
it's very possible.
They do that.
It's very possible. Isn't not my pastor? He always talks about this story where this woman, her husband, they grill catfish or they boil it or something, the fish. And the one always used to break it into. And he came from a household where you eat a full fish. Nobody's breaking it into. They present it. And she always used to break it into two. And he was like, why do you always break it into two? She said, please, that's how my mother's mother used to make this fish. And he said, but why? And so she called her mom, like, okay, actually, why are we breaking this fish into two? So we didn't have pot big enough.
Oh my God.
In our house. So that's why we used to break it into two. But now she has a massive pot. She still breaks it into two. Do you understand? So because we don't ask the whys, we just do.
So I think that, okay, maybe when we come to the best of both worlds, I would give those suggestions. But again, I've had experience with Gen Z in the workplace. I would say it's fair. It's fair because I'm a people manager, so I know how to relate with people from different generations. I don't have a problem with that. But a lot of people in my generation, the first thing they tell me is that, please, all these your children with mental health issues that are always saying their mental health. I think for us, if we're looking for a job, we're looking for stability. Or for the Gen Zs, they're looking for something that aligns with their purpose, which I really appreciate, you know, because there are lots of us that are doing things that we'd rather not do, but we need to pay the bills. We need to put food on the table. So we'll do those things. But your generation, the one that trips me most is the way they just resign and they just hop off and... So what are you doing next? I don't know. I'm still thinking about it. I say, hey, this children, you have luxury. Because you have parents that are...
Yes, I was going to say that. To a large extent, there's that, having parents that can cushion the effect for you. But there's people that leave to nothing, really. There's no cushioning. They'd rather leave to nothing. And the thing to understand here is that...
What's the sense in that? Please, let me understand, because I don't...
So for me, I would leave if I've been able to save up enough to pay myself until I'm stable, like until I figure myself out.
So which will be how long? When do you know that?
You don't know, but it's a risk you're willing to take, because it's the thing about prioritizing your mental health. If a place is fundamentally draining and toxic and is burning you out and you're constantly in fight or flight mode and you're stressed, I have experience and I know people that have experienced, you're going to work is similar to heart palpitations, so much anxiety. You're having more kids, younger people having heart attacks, right? You're having younger people having strokes because the work environment is so unhealthy. One could charge it to mental tenacity, right? The capacity that they have to accommodate nonsense. That threshold is the threshold is getting lower. I would say, to be fair, that there are people that are a bit excessive. For instance, and I'll give an example. A Gen Z is not going to play with their lunch break. I'm going to go have lunch, right? I'm not going to hate on anything. Me personally, I can't remember last time I took a lunch break, but people are going to have lunch. Now, where I say it's excessive is, I've experienced this about twice now, where we have a meeting with a client. You probably even booked the time of the meeting with the client. Now we have to meet the client. And I'm like, oh, where's this person? It's like, oh, he went for lunch.
That's what I'm talking about.
I'm like, sorry, what do you mean he went for lunch? We have a meeting with the client. Now, he scheduled the meeting with the client. And they're like,
I just think it's my lunch time.
But the thing is, there's no set lunch time. You can go for lunch at any time. So you're 1 hour in any day. You can move it around. But
Some organizations have between 12 and 2.
Yeah, but it then comes to over rigidity, where this is not what happens every day. But if you set up the meeting for a certain time and then you decide not to show up because you are at lunch, that is a big problem.
It is.
Because why are we here? You also have to, there has to be balance where it's like, okay, I understand that your lunch is priority, but if everyone missed meetings, right, we wouldn't have money. We can't pay salary. Where are you taking lunch from? Your mommy's house.
I like that thought process, because really, the way the lackadaisical attitude.
So yeah, it comes off, when you're trying to set boundaries, everything in moderation, when you're trying to set boundaries, it almost comes off as lackadaisical sometimes, but you have to understand. So it's...
Where do we draw the line?
Yeah, because it's an overreaction. Because they realize that your manager is willing to step on you and take... For instance, something happened to me recently where I think my partner gave feedback on something at like almost 2:05. I kid you not. This thing is due on Friday. This is Wednesday. He gives feedback, 2 comments, nothing crazy, right? So this can be done between tomorrow, Friday. So I see it, so the manager sends a message past 5, like, oh, hey, have you guys updated? The manager is like 3-4 minutes to 5 p.m. What are we going to do now? To 6, she calls me on my phone. Oh, hey, are you still in the office? I'm in transit. I'm on my way home. She says, okay, when you get home, quickly make those updates. Send me the mail to send out and everything when you get home. Mind you, I'm getting home 8, 9. I'm like, I know this isn't urgent. I know it's not going out tonight. But I just do it because it's not a major thing. It didn't go out till the next day. Right. Now, that would have been a place where I'm like, I'm not sending this out tonight. I draw that line because I know it is not urgent. But you see, the thing is, the managers will push and, encroach on your space and time, whether it's urgent or not. So you kind of have to now decipher, is this urgent? Is this important? Is this just this person? You learn each manager's style, whether do they just put pressure because, or are they honest? Some managers will lie about deadlines when it's not really the deadline. You have to know the person you're working with and set those boundaries accordingly.
Profiling the person you're working with is most important.
Know your manager. But most people, they're like, because you have to understand that there's some days that it actually has to go out today.
Yeah.
Today is the deadline.
And so all hands must be on deck.
But
that's where I have a problem with the Gen Z attitude.
Exactly. Because you can't do it one size fits all.
Yes.
And that because this manager pushed and it wasn't really necessary. Now every manager, anything after 5, I'm not picking my call again because
the work must be done.
You're not perceived as lackadaisical.
Yeah.
So there are boundaries, of course. You need to read the room. What is the urgency? So it's a bit difficult. And I remember in my early stages, it was difficult for me because the pressure I get from some managers telling me, no, this urgent, that report will still not leave our firm till 2 weeks after. 2 weeks.
That's
and
I
did like 2 nights back to back. I didn't sleep. And it takes another 2 weeks before it even leaves.
That's
and
unfair.
I'm like, come on.
Yeah.
But now you've shown me your hand as a manager. You can't tell me something is urgent again until the clients will call me themselves to tell me this thing is urgent before I believe you. I won't say you've contaminated your word, but now everything
I think
you say has to be
profiling
taken.
is very important in the workplace.
So with profiling, it takes some else because it takes you some time.
Yeah.
It takes you some time to realize that this manager is a liar. No, because it's sure we don't want to believe it, but it's true. Your manager can lie.
No, yeah. I mean,
so you won't know off the bat when you first start.
Yeah,
you won't know that your manager is a liar, right? So it takes some time to then realize that. Oh, hey, this is that.
So managers don't lie.
Like it hampers your integrity on a fundamental level. And the thing is, you need your team members to know that when you say this is urgent, it's urgent, and it's like, okay, not so urgent. I had an in charge, bless her soul, Demilade, wherever you are. She would tell me that I'd be like, okay, I'll get this thing to you by midnight. She's like, I'm not going to review it till 3 p.m. tomorrow.
So just take your time.
Relax.
And that makes sense.
She'd be very honest with timelines with you. Like, this is when I'm probably going to get to it. So you do have till this time. Don't die on the hill of, I need to get this to Demilade because I promised her this time. You have some time. Do it and do it well. Right? And she'd tell you, okay, this one is actually urgent. And when she told me something was urgent,
then you know that it is urgent.
Rush to do it because I know she's not a what? Liar. She has integrity.
Please, I can't laugh.
Just lie. No, honestly.
Okay, so how do we get the best of both worlds? Because from my perspective, Gen X's have a lot to bring to the table. Um,
You people are not tech inclined. Let's start from there.
I'm
You people,
trying.
the world is so technologically inclined.
You people were born into it. You can't blame us. You cannot blame us. We started from the era of
evolve.
we were evolving. It is not easy. We started from the era of telephone, and then you call landline. When GSM came, it was like
magic.
Hey, all of us were lining up to get our GSMs and all of that. So it's not easy. You guys were born into it.
No, because
the way you send
so
text, I look at you, how you send text messages, and I've not gotten over it. The speed with which you type those things, and I'm still trying to pick the letters on the keypad. And
Daddy, he pokes the phone. I'm like, why are you poking? Why are you using? Why? He's like, I'm like, please use your thumbs. Why are you poking the phone?
I can't do what you do. So you people were born into it. So give us some slack on that. But we are trying. No, we're sending. We're trying. No, even your grandma herself is on social media.
Yeah, no, she's a popping wave.
She's
Let me tell you something. So you know how with Microsoft Word, Excel, PPT, there's options to add a comment. So you can click a cell or highlight what you want to address, and then you drop a comment. Even with PDFs, you can highlight something and then drop a comment. Right? I have a partner who he has an iPad, so you send him a report in PDF to review. I don't know where. So he has the stylus and everything. He makes it red. So it's like he's marking the exam script red by, and he writes his comments. And the good 1 hour of that, when you get your feedback, is you're trying to decipher what has he written. What is he trying to tell me? And if you type it, it's clear. But he's so
handwriting.
And I went to ask one day, and he's like, when they started these reports, they'd print it out.
And then
they would write and then you would go and update and print it again.
Yes.
And some of the calculations that we're doing on Excel, they did it manually. So he's used to writing and scribbling.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't see this. I'm guessing. Sometimes like, why didn't you treat these comments? I didn't know what it was. And so it's stressful to all of us as a collective when you're behind.
I try.
Sometimes it's sad, but we kind of look down on the manager, because it's like, this person that is earning 30 times my salary now is asking me, how do I put a bullet points in this document?
Wait. Don't bring that leg at all. What's that? Don't even try that. Is it bullet points?
Want me?
Years of experience that we have.
But you can't put a bullet point.
It's not about bullet points, Jare.
How do you want me to rate you?
Let's give you strategy. Let's give you structure. Let's give you direction. Is it about bullet points? It's not about... See, the years of experience that we have, the things that... Again, I will go back to that adage that says, what a child that is standing on 10-story building cannot see. We that we are sitting on underground, we can see.
You guys love to hold that problem.
We are holding it. It's working for us. So technology, I know that we need to upgrade. But it will take time, just like everything is evolving, So for me, getting the best of both worlds would be Gen Xers should move up with technology, because
evolve, be honest.
Me, I'm honest.
Yeah, no, more of you need to be honest. Integrity, transparency, being more emotionally sound, right? Because you're dealing with people that are more in touch with their emotions now. So
now, that is where I don't agree. Okay. Emotionally sound, I am. A lot of my friends are.
No, they are really not. You know something, Friend as your friend is different from your friend in the workplace.
True that. But I think that you, Gen Z people, have to be more resilient.
Yes, 100%.
You have to be more resilient, because a little thing, hold on, I can't cope with it.
I always say something when I'm teaching on mental health.
What are you going to resign from?
No, I always say something when I'm teaching on mental health, and I say that, the knowledge of mental health and the awareness we have now, right, is knowledge, right? And knowledge is what? Knowledge is power. And what can power be? Power can be abused.
Okay.
Right. And so and it's a problem not only in the workplace, but it's a problem when people actually have mental challenges and they don't get the help that they need, because people have they trivialize certain mental health challenges, because without diagnosis, you've given yourself one illness or the other. You've claimed something. You go on, Dr. Mayo Clinic online. You've given yourself a diagnosis. And when people, without actually having the facts to it, and when people do that enough times, and
nobody takes it seriously.
No one takes the people that actually have the challenge seriously.
You have your period. you can't. I know that some people have their period and it's extreme.
Yeah.
But work cannot stop because. So when you give birth, what are we going to do? Close down the office?
Yeah. So that's the thing where you have to consider. So when we talk about DEI and accommodation for people, it's understanding that everybody's not going to be the same. And
We
to
know.
make a whole organization. So there's some people that are actually incapacitated.
And so let us know ahead of time so that.
Oh no, so they do communicate ahead of time. Is that we don't want to hear it. We're like, okay, what are you telling me? So meaning that what 5 to 7 days in a month now.
Hey, you got any salary.
Yeah.
So you have to consider.
So these are the things. It's always
employer also.
Yeah. So
what's
it's
the
always
balance?
a balance? Exactly. There has to be a balance with it, right? So I think what I was talking about with mental health, where I was saying that
My generation, they have to be more emotional.
yeah, but also more mentally aware, right? Be mindful that you're dealing with human beings, not robots. You're not working with a generation that's just going to yes, sir, anymore, right? They will talk back to you. It may seem rude, but they're not going to sit down like, even my show, because again, most of the people in my workplace that I worked with were millennials, Gen Xers. And so now I'm dealing, and so I kind of acclimated with the culture, right? So I was one of the first generation Gen Zers in the workplace. And for a lot of us, we kind of just blended in. We kind of tried to become a middle point, right? Where there were certain things we'd leave, but weren't as confrontational, and now I'm dealing with a fresher set where
Confrontation is the key word.
I've asked you to do something, and they're like, I do have a lot on my plate. Are you sure you won't do it?
That's what we're talking about.
I'm here like,
That's
in my life.
I can't tell my
I
superior.
cannot tell my superior,
Yes.
are you sure you won't do it? And I'm like, I'm sure genuinely they're like, I mean, if you have free time, maybe they're not thinking about the hierarchy of it, or they don't care. They're
So we must respect structure.
So
in as much as I don't want hierarchy to.
It's a thing of we throw them into the workplace and I just expect that you met it there, align with it. But you need to explain why this is there.
What's induction for?
Orientation and induction, that's not what they speak on.
It should be part of it.
Do you understand? So people that don't have comprehensive onboarding syllabi when they're showing their teams, this is why this is this and this is why this is that. We
very
need to
important
have that.
because if I'm expecting you to function properly here, I must tell you what our culture is and why we're doing this. Okay. So the why is very important because I mean, I like the energy that the Gen Zs bring to the workplace. I love the energy. I love their creativity. I love that, but at the same time, that informal aspect where they just think that everything is, we're just all here and we're all just, okay, because we're all on first name basis. Everybody's just, no.
Exactly, people have a problem with that first name basis.
Well,
a lot of people in my family had to ask some people to leave when they first transitioned to that because some people were just not going to take it. How is somebody my granddaughter's age calling me by my first name?
It's not our culture. Don't forget we're Africans. So this is the white man's culture where, it's not our culture. It is not our culture. And so somebody that is
culture evolves.
We know, which is why, of course, a lot of my generation are in workplaces now where people call them on first name basis.
So they have a problem with it low-key. So that's where you see, instead of the people saying, Missy, they say Maya Missy, or in some organizations, so two things I've seen, CHR Roma. They'll call you by your title.
Yeah, because they have, is it gunshot she call it now?
or instead of like, Missy, they'll be like, YB. They'll call you by your initials.
Don't shout.
Missy.
Are we white people? We're not white people.
In the organization.
Yeah, leave organization. Well, so common sense is not
part of the problem because
we're part of the problem.
When you don't let go of things like that, you cause hostility in the workplace. You're causing conflict over things that are so tiny like that.
It's not tiny for people. It's culture. Culture will eat strategy for breakfast. It's culture. Culture will tell you that this is how you should respect your elders. So when somebody that is your grandchild's mate just comes and says, and then like I said in the past, some people don't know how to package it. They just come and say, how far? You call it as if they were there on your naming ceremony. Yoruba land, you say it's only people that were there on your naming ceremony that have the right to call your name in full like that. They'll just call it like that for you. But, I mean, common sense, Madam YB, those little things.
There was a day I saw my partner's middle name on like a certificate, and I called him the middle name on it. He didn't back us if he heard me, and I knew he looked.
The kilo shomo yi.
He looked at me. He just like, try it again.
Try first. So I think that yes, we have imbibed that culture of first name basis and all those things in the workplace. But let the Gen Zs too. Just like we are trying to meet you halfway.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, there are things that we need to do.
Yeah,
so moderation, learning to read the room, manage your bosses,
profile the people that you're working
profile
with.
The people, building resilience.
For Gen
Your
Zs.
threshold needs to increase. It sounds somehow that why should my threshold for rubbish increase? But the thing is, in life, you're meeting rubbish everywhere, and you can't always change the situation around you.
You have to come. Say, no, I can't deal with that. I'm going to resign.
If you go for therapy,
how many places?
They will tell you in therapy that you can't always change what other people do, but you can change how you react to it.
Yeah,
and so
that.
You need to be able to manage your own emotions as well. So definitely, we need to build more resilience.
Okay, so 3 corporate slangs on a lighter note. 3 corporate slangs that
from your generation
you won't forget in a hurry. Okay, let me say mine and then you say yours. So mine will be okay, we used to say forward and backward integration. Forward and back, you just be hearing it. Then another one was ecosystem. Buzzword, ecosystem. The ecosystem. But this one from Who Moved My Cheese? What's that one again? No, say your own. I remember that one.
Okay, so one that that they're just, we call it corporate jargon.
Yes, it is.
Like there's just words that we just throw around.
They just be throwing it around.
So are we in alignment? Are we in alignment? Team, are we in alignment?
Yeah. Alignment too much.
There's this client of ours that we always laugh at them because they love it. Team, can we double click on that, please? Let's quickly double click.
Yes, I remember the paradigm shift. Hey, God. They use that paradigm shift. In fact, of course, from the Who Moved My Cheese book, we had cheese everywhere. Paradigm shift. Every talk show, every corporate meeting, we have a paradigm shift. I say, God, to shift, no?
Honestly. So yeah, there's alignment. There's a double click on that. Hard stop. I have a hard stop at 5. I have a hard stop. I have a hard. Rolake, leave the meeting if you want to leave. I have a hard stop. I have a hard stop, please. And then our generation with more like buzzwords, we do a lot of disruption, transformation. My ChatGPT. I asked it to do a ChatGPT rap for me, and they said my keywords for the year: transformation. So you transform. Transformation. And I transform.
Oh my God.
Transforming.
Oh my God.
I don't know what I want to become, but what
transforming.
So yeah, those are some of the words.
All right. I think that we've done a bit on this topic. Definitely is a topic we're coming back to.
We have to revisit, possibly with people in other industries that have worked more with Gen Zs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And more Gen Zs, and maybe another Gen Z as well to come in.
Maybe, yes. Another Gen Z or Gen X.
And we can have both.
Okay.
We can have 2 guests and so we have a balanced view on things. Yeah.
Okay.
Because I feel like from our perspectives, we are, like I said, I was a first generation Gen Z in my organization. And so that led to a lot of acclimating. So I wasn't like one of the hard stop Gen Zs.
Gen Z.
And then I would say that.
Would you say that you've been influenced by a Gen X mom too?
Yeah, definitely. That's what I'm saying. And that's why I'm also like, you are also a bit more accommodating to Gen Zs because you have Gen Z children that you are close to. Do you understand that you're close to? So there are certain things that, like, when they do,
I don't take it personal.
Yeah, I've said things where I'm in the workplace and I'm in a meeting and you overhear me say something and I see you and you're like, only a Gen Z would say this.
Yes.
And you don't take offense and you make peace with it, where it's like, okay, yeah, this is a Gen Z thing. So I think we need people that are less understanding of whatever the heck the other generation is doing to really now talk it to us and be like, okay, so what do you mean by these things? I think that would give a more balanced view on things. So we should do a part 2 sometime.
Okay, so thank you for joining our conversation today. definitely have a part 2 on this topic. Drop your comments, follow us on our social media handles, drop your comments on our discussion today, and see you in our next podcast. It's a wrap.
My God.
Bye.